Hello friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Whoop Wednesday. We're going to be checking out the brand new Newbie Drone Gold Solid Pin PH2.0 to see if A, it is like noticeably better than Newbie Drone's previous clear plastic rolled pin non-gold plated PH2.0. And then we'll do an unfair test and put it up against a BT2.0. Can't possibly, it's an unfair test because this rig with BT2.0 also has a slightly lighter canopy and camera on it. But we'll weigh it and yeah, we'll see. What I'm most interested in is whether or not there's a noticeable difference when I switch this Crossfire Acro B BLV4 over to the gold-plated solid pin PH2.0. That's what I'm kind of most interested in. I'm gonna switch. You know, I'm gonna switch this rig over anyway. So this is kind of perfect. You know, I'll switch it over live. I'll show you guys how to do it, and then we'll see if we get a little bit more runtime. I assume that we will. I mean, long story short, we already kind of know that the solid pin PH2.0s work better than the rolled pins. The only, so it's not for free. With the solid pin PH2.0, it wears down the connectors and the batteries a little bit sooner than the rolled pin. So if you don't care as much about performance and you care more about like the rig kind of lasting forever and your batteries lasting longer and stuff like that, the OG rolled pin clear plastic newbie drone is the way to go. This is going to last the longest. Although I guess you could also say that BT2... I don't know if there's really been any data on if BT2.0 wears out after a while. But yeah, if you're going to stay PH2.0, the old school rolled pin will definitely give you the longest lifetime. The solid pins will give you better performance with a slightly shorter lifetime. And now, in theory, this gold plated solid pin should give you even better performance. I can't imagine that it will be as good as BT2.0, but we'll take a look. We'll fly those rigs back to back and see. Both of these Acro B BLV4s are both of these are Acro B BLV4s. This one is their brand new Crossfire. This one is their ELRS that's been out for a little bit. The only difference between these two rigs is the camera and canopy. This guy, I continued to upgrade to try to get a little bit better performance, a little bit better performance, a little bit better performance, and I was able to shave about a gram by swapping out the Goober canopy with Newbie Drone BI camera for a Mobula 6 canopy with RunCam Nano 3. I also removed the T antenna on this and replaced it with just a little whip style 2.4 gig antenna for Express LRS. So yeah, there is a definite weight difference between these two, and I switched this thing over to BT2.0, so it's not really going to be a super fair test. I'm tempted to take this canopy off and see if I have a Goober canopy floating around, but I actually don't know if I do. I do. It's right here. All right, we're going to put this canopy on to the ELRS rig. Just to even the tables up a little bit. That won't take very long. That's 4 screws, plug and unplug. Yeah, so we'll even the playing field a little bit more for the gold-plated solid pin PH2.0 by getting this lighter weight camera and canopy off of this guy. So yeah, that's the plan for tonight. This is my full-time job, unbelievably. Thanks to you beautiful people. I am completely supported by viewers like you. So if you don't mind, do something. Click thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, click the bell icon thing. Or if you have a couple extra dollars and you really want to help me out, because I don't really make much money from YouTube. I don't live and die by YouTube. I beg for money from you guys. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. And there's a million ways that you can support me. The one that helps out the most is Patreon, and that's also the one where you're going to get the most benefits. I've got this link here to the actual live streams themselves, but yeah, Patreon link is right here. As it says, helps me the most. You can jump onto the Patreon for as little as 10 cents a day. If you're into FPV, I know you got an extra 10 cents a day. It's not an expensive hobby, but it's not a cheap hobby either. So let me get that dime a day, yo, and I'll keep doing this and giving you all kinds of good content and testing to hopefully save you money on stuff that you buy. That's one of the biggest things that I try to do is save you from buying garbage and wasting your money, and hopefully then you can hook a brother up with a little bit of that money that you've saved from the testing that I've done. There's also an Etsy store with some stickers and random hardware that might make your life a little bit easier. There's a Fiverr page where you can work one-on-one with me, benefit from the 6+ years that I've been doing this. Teespring with some shirts and other fun stuff. If you want to just send me money directly, just direct support, do it with PayPal and drop a little comment in the chat here so I can give you a shout out. And then I got a whole bunch of affiliate links. If you're ever ordering on these websites and you click the affiliate link before you check out, I will get a small percentage of that order for free. We Bleed FPV, Newbie Drone, FPV Cycle, Amazon, Get FPV, oh my god, HD0, Flywoo, Emacs, Banggood, Camera Butter, AliExpress. This is also a Q&A live stream, as they all are, so fill the chat up with any questions that you've got. And then, what else? I don't know what else. I do finally have access to the full NCL, National Cycling League, broadcast. I think on Friday we're going to just let this play. It's like 3 hours long. So I think on Friday we'll do another like recap live stream, and we'll let this play, and basically I'll fast forward it to the bits where I'm flying, and I can kind of talk you guys through sort of each pass, right? So we'll sort of like play it here. Here they come to turn 4. And here's where they pick up my camera. And yeah, I can kind of talk you guys through a bunch of these sprints, and there's some fun stuff that happens, and there's some cool little cameos by the QAVS Cine. I put a couple of them on on my Instagram stories today. And yeah, some of these passes, there's like some sketchy shit that happens that I can kind of tell you guys about. Sometimes the director kind of holds on my camera for too long, and I have to kind of push the range a little bit. And yeah, you guys can just kind of, I don't know, ask me questions if you've got any, and stuff like that, and it'll be fun. There's a great little cameo where they took, so camera 8 was on the scissor lift over on that corner, and there's the funniest cameo ever by the QAV Cine. I wonder if I can find it real quick, where he's the director is just sitting on that static camera, and then the QAV just goes whoop right up through the view of the camera. Let's see if there's a chance that this might be it. Nope, that's not it. But yeah, there's a couple really cool little cameos, and then there's a couple shots from camera 1, which is looking across the start-finish line, where you can just very clearly see me like driving right at the camera, and it's just super cool to see the little drone just kind of hanging out with these riders as they go ripping through the start-finish line. Let's see if this might be one of them. Nah, this is him shooting the back of the peloton there. But yeah, very cool. There were like 20 or so laps per, 20 or so laps, I think a little bit more than that, for the women's group, and then same for the men's group. So there's basically like 40 or so runs that I've got chasing these guys across through the sprint zone and then across the start-finish line. And yeah, it's just cool to see. I mean, it's extra cool to see for me because I was piloting the damn thing, but I keep seeing comments from viewers that are like that were really excited, and so hopefully it's fun for you guys to see as well. I wish I could find one of the little drone cameos. It's just so cool to see the little QAV Cine just kind of ripping around. Oh wait, I took a couple screenshots. That's right, I took a couple of screenshots. Here you go. Here he is hanging out on the corner there. Hey, look at you, look at the little buddy. Hi, little baby. And then there should be another. Yeah, there's a better one. There's an even better one. There he is. There he is. The best one though is is over on my Instagram. Let's real quick see. I can probably pull it up. My own. Where's it at? Wait, let's see. There he is! Yeah, there he is! Whee! And then, oh shit! Hold on. Don't blink. Yeah, there he is. It's just ripping by. Ready? Watch right here. Watch right here. So, just screaming by with him. Running and coming in third place on that lap. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here's the cameo. Ready? 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 Watch right through the middle. That's my favorite, hands down. Just like, here it comes again. Ready? Whoop. I don't know why that's so funny, but like, I guess it's so funny because when I was over there, like once they got camera 8 back running, and I was over there, I was always kind of like wondering, like, am I flying right through the middle of his viewfinder or not? And yeah, it's super funny to see it because they're you know, these are like big boy $10,000+ like action sports camera systems, and like they're the big fuckers that you see, like, you know, in all motorsport events where that are, you know, the lens is like this fucking big on the front, and they will zoom. These guys were one of the guys that was on the boom a little bit past the start finish line. He said when they weren't on his camera, he was zooming 2.5 full blocks down and putting this little guy full screen on his viewfinder when I was hovering, waiting for the other guys. And that's, yeah, that was a 2.5 block long zoom, and he was able to put it like absolutely full screen. That, like, the zoom is serious on these things. It's legit, man. They're big boy legit cameras. Which also kind of explains the difference in quality between when they would take my camera and then when they would cut to these $10,000+ camera systems, which I don't know. I'm still kind of confused about it. I'm still a little confused as to why the truck couldn't color correct my output a little bit better. But I don't know. It is what it is. It's the comparison of a, you know, what do these little DJI cameras cost? $50, right? $50 camera versus $10,000+. So I mean, I'm asking for a lot, but I feel like at the other events, I feel like at Anniston and Salt Lake City last year, I feel like there wasn't that drastic of a difference. But the truck was saying that it was a very challenging lighting situation. So I guess that's kind of the deal. But at the next event, I'm gonna request like 10 minutes with the guy in the like on comms with the guy in the truck that does the color correction, to ratchet the DJI settings up and down. To see if that can help them out a little bit, right? Like in your DJI menu, you've got exposure. You can go 0, +1, +2, +3, or -1, -2, -3. And then you've got a saturation control. And I think that's it. But I wonder if screwing with the DJI settings would give the truck a little bit better output to kind of work with. The reason, like, at one point, the truck did ask me if I could bring my exposure level down a little bit, which I did in the menu, but they were so busy troubleshooting all of the problems that they were having, that was it. Like, I adjusted that level, and then I called them a couple times and said, like, hey, does that look good? Hey, does that look good? Hey, does that look good? And they didn't get back to me because there were much bigger technical issues that they were kind of dealing with. So hopefully so the next NCL event is, so the next event that I'll work with this team again, I think, is in Anniston, Alabama with America Crit Cup. And then there's another NCL event in Denver, Colorado. And then the very next weekend, there's another NCL event in Atlanta. So that's going to kind of be crazy, 2 weekends in a row like that. But I'm happy because I can drive to the Atlanta event, so I can bring like my big boy charger and like, yeah, I don't have to, I can just bring everything, which is super, super, super nice. Not that there's really that much else for me to bring, to be honest. Like, it'll be nice to bring an extra transmitter. God forbid this one goes down. I'll bring an extra set of DJI goggles. God forbid the V2s go down. But that's kind of it. Like, I keep my gear setup as slimmed down and slimmed down as possible. So what's going on, chat? Northern Tier was first, Frank Nicholas was second, Kiz Bartlett borked, Hush LOS Binks Mage, Brandon's Baked Beans, Ram Donko, Danzel the Terrible, Juicy FPV is in the house. Shout out to him. He is selling me a set of walk snail goggles and sending me a pair of 1S VTX and cameras, one of which is probably going to end up in a giveaway. There's a chance that I'll build a second rig with it, but I doubt it. It kind of depends. I'm going to build one walk snail 1S 75mm rig to chase the RC drift cars. And I definitely want to get a regular walk snail setup with the new VTX and one of the new cameras to experiment with on 3-inch micro brushless freestyle rigs. I don't know if there's any point to doing another 1S build, although it would be interesting to do a toothpick. It would be really interesting to do a toothpick with a bunch of up tilt. You know, I have the Vista pick, which needs to come apart because the AIO sucks. So maybe when that rig comes apart, I'll take the Vista out of it, because walk snail on a toothpick is just a much better idea than a Vista and a toothpick. It's lighter, although that toothpick is not 1S. So, and I really don't want to build I've already built a 1S toothpick, and it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the 2S toothpicks just fly a lot better, and like, if it's a toothpick, you might as well have the extra power. So yeah, I don't really know what I would do with another 1S of those. So like I said, you'll probably see it in a giveaway. So yeah, shout out to CiottiFPV for that. Very, very cool of them. Danzo the Terrible, Ram Donko, Imp FPV, AJSR71, Northern Tier, 8-bit, Denzel the Terrible, Raven, and We Bleed FPV. I'm going to leave it there. If you want the Gangly Man to read your name, you got to come in early. You got to say something in the chat. If you want to talk directly to me, all I got to do is type CiottiFPV, and it'll light up an orange like this, and I'll know that you're talking to me. Brandon's Baked Bean says, wait, it's gold and solid pin? It is indeed. That's why I have some sort of hope for it. If I was really happy to see that it was solid pin last night. They sent me 2 of them, though. I wonder if... I assume that I just assumed that they were both solid pin. Yep, they're both solid pin. Yep. So yeah, that's good. I mean, it's really, really good, if nothing else, that Newbie Drone is now going to a solid pin PH2.0, because, yeah, I mean, longevity be damned. If you're going to be slumming it with PH2.0, you might as well be slumming it with solid pin to give you a little bit better of chance of getting like semi-decent performance, because like, maybe these gold-plated ones will be magic, but you know, the non-gold-plated solid pin PH2.0s can't really hold a candle to BT2.0. So yeah. Ram Dongo says, hello, hope you're good. I am indeed. Brandon's Baked Bean says, is it solid gold? I doubt it. MPFPV says, is this the normal time for the stream to start today? It certainly is, as you can see right down here. Ram Dongo says 7K subs. Yeah, I hit 7,000 right before I went to Miami, which is pretty cool. I'm not a sub whore. You know, I focus on having an audience that is having like the right audience. I don't really care to have tons and tons and tons of people, so I don't do the clickbaity stuff. I don't do shorts. I don't do all the things that, you know, successful YouTubers do, because that's just not, I don't want to be a YouTuber. Like, this stream is about building the knowledge base of micros, and to do that, you know, the best way to do that is not to have just a ton of random people. The best way to do that is to have the smartest people that are paying the most attention, and are kind of getting involved. So yeah, the number of subs that I've got is kind of inconsequential to me. Probably not a great idea, but I just don't have it in me to do the things that I would need to do to get tons and tons and tons of subscribers. And to be honest, like the more, you know, the more subscribers you got, the more shitheads you've got. And I don't deal well with shitheads leaving nasty comments. So yeah, this is what works for me. Is it the best way to make a lot of money? Nope. But it's the best way for me to stay sane and to build a group of people that are sort of in it for the right reasons. And so yeah, that's that. The Ends of the Turbo says, hi, hair is looking good. Thank you, brother. I just got out the shower. YouTube just did the thing. Scrolling back up. Michael D says, happy Wednesday and PayPal. Oh, shit. Support coming my way. Michael D with a $10 PayPal. Thank you, brother. He says, thank you again for the drill bit and the sticker. I think I might be almost out, if not out of the drill. Okay, so I only have one drill bit left, and I think I have an email from someone buying this drill bit, so I think the buy a drill bit from me thing is kind of over, but I still do have McStinky mounts. So if you are in need of a 3D printed McStinky mount, this is arguably the best Tiny Whoop camera mount available. I will sell you one, but you got to buy some of my stickers as well. It's going to be $10 for a McStinky and a sticker. I've got Gangly Gang stickers here, matte and holographic. If you're into cars and or motorsports, I got this really cool Gulf livery CiottiFPV, just Ciotti sticker. And then I've got these OG Apple holographic stickers, hot off the press. Or you can buy a sticker pack from me for $15. $15 is going to get you a McStinky or two. And then this sticker sheet here with 5 stickers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you can get a sticker pack that has the Micro King matte, CiottiFPV matte, and Gangly Gang matte, or the holographic pack with a glossy big ass Micro King window cling, no adhesive on that, and a holographic CiottiFPV and a holographic Gangly Gang. You're going to do that by just PayPaling me. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com, click the PayPal button, send me either $10 or $15. That'll tell me, you know, which one you're getting, and then leave your address, tell me which sticker pack you want, and then tell me which McStinky you want. Which camera are you running that the McStinky needs to be for? There's 3 different versions of the McStinky. There's a version for the Runcam Nano 3, there's a version for bigger cameras, and there's a version for smaller cameras. So just tell me which camera you've got, and I'll send you the correct McStinky. And if there's a specific color that you want, drop it in there. I have mainly red and purple, but there's also a couple, there's 1 or 2 greens, 1 or 2 blues. So yeah, throw that in there, and I'll do my best. Other stuff for sale, since we're kind of talking about it, I do have an Axis box for sale. That's something that you can't buy anymore. If you're interested in that, let me know. This is the Axis Flying. It's basically a Raspberry Pi in there. It's set up to connect to your DJI version 1 or version 2 goggles, to then send it via HDMI to your computer or whatever. There are some Betaflight Cetus frames and AIOs in here. There are some Cinesplore TPUs in here. There's a white Hero 8 little condom looking thing that you can just slip over the Hero 8. This is a little Betaflight VTX camera and canopy. If you've M01 AIO camera and VTX, so this is like a full video system for a any rig that doesn't have that has an AIO without a VTX on board. And then there's a Tarsier 20 by 20 stack in here. I don't have the camera, but well, I do have the camera. Camera doesn't have any lenses on it though, so it's mainly the Tarsier stack. I've got a set of the looks like there's a set of Betaflight 1103 11,000 kV motors in here. There's a set of T-motor 0803s in here. I want to say that those are 22,000 kV. Don't quote me on that. And there's a set of Betaflight 0803 12,000 kV motors in here as well. So yeah, if you want any of that stuff, shoot me a message and I'll give you a good deal on it. There's also these weird, there's two of these weird little 420 mAh 2S GNB batteries that just have a balance lead on them. I don't know what to do with these, but if they're the most adorable little batteries, and they have the weed number, amount of mAh. I also have one of these face hugger, one of these Ethics face hugger Hero 567 pieces, which are apparently like worth something now because they don't make them anymore. So yeah, if there's anything in there that you want, let me know and I'll hook you up. Yeah, this is the old school Cetus, and I've got one of the frames and two of the AIOs in here. Good for like a beginner rig, super beginner rig. They've got an optical sensor on the bottom, which will do a little bit of altitude hold, which is kind of interesting. I also have a bunch of these Insta360 Go 2 tiny lifter TPU mounts, if you want these. Some of this stuff, it'll just be like the cost of shipping. Some of it I will ask for a little bit. Hey, I also have a ton of these M3 3mm spacers that you can use to crank the front 4 screws down on your 5-inch rigs. You take these spacers, you put them inside of the TPU, and then you can actually tighten your screws down in the front. You need a washer on top. But yeah, it's always bothered me that our front 4 top screws on our 5-inch rigs, we haven't been able to really bury them tight because you would squish all the TPU out. So yeah, these Newbie Drone hooked me up with a whole bunch of these at cost. And yeah, I'm looking to pass these on to you guys. If you want more info about that, just ask in chat and I'll talk a little bit more about it. But yeah, basically you put your M3 screw and then a washer and then the little 3mm spacer, and you send that down, and the 3mm is the perfect thickness for the TPU. So the TPU is going to balloon out a little bit around the 3mm spacer, and then you're going to be able to bury that fucker, and then the little washer that you put on top is what's going to prevent the TPU from ripping off. So you're going to be able to really crank those down, and that's just going to really firm up the structure of like the main school bus section of 5-inch frames. Not a huge deal, but in really hard crashes, those vertical front standoffs try to kind of do this little deal, and that'll break the screw heads off, and it just makes the whole system a little bit more bendy. So yeah. Let me get caught up on chat here, and then we will dive into some things. Thanks again, Michael D, for the very generous PayPal. I joined the American Airlines tricked me. They sent me an email. It says, "Last chance to redeem your frequent flyer points. Join the frequent flyer program." I was like, "Oh, great." So I joined the frequent flyer program, and then they didn't give me credit for the points, I guess because I didn't do it before the flight. So that's kind of annoying. But, you know, whatever. Next time I fly with them, I'll get some frequent flyer miles. I was like, oh, you sneaky bastards. You got all my info now. But that's okay. Hopefully I'll fly on them again. Denzel the Terrible says, nice glass is everything. It is indeed. The glass elements in these sports cameras is like this fucking big. It's ridiculous. Denzel the Terrible says, the gold plating is placebo. Yeah, I've heard that before. But at least, like I said earlier, at least it's solid pin. That's a big step in the right direction. Ramdonko says, have you got a Tiny Whoop cam, the modified one, or chat? Any good low light? What? Have you got a Tiny Whoop cam? I do. This is my Jungle Gym Basher, and this has the Tiny Whoop pinch. No, it doesn't. This has the regular Foxier Razor cam in it. What happened to the regular Tiny Whoop pinch cam is in this rig that's going to get pulled apart. Previously, it was going to get pulled apart for the HD0 1S setup, but I've already been down this road before. Instead, this rig is going to get the walk snail setup because the quality is going to be way better and it's going to be able to record onboard DVR. So I have no idea what I'm going to do with this HD0 1S setup. If one of you guys wants to buy this off of me, I will probably let it go. It's super interesting. Like if you have the HD0 goggles, it's great. I do not, and I'm not going to spend $500 on them. I have that little front module piece, which makes the Fat Shark goggles super uncomfortable. And the quality is not all that good. So I don't really have a good use for this. So yeah, if one of you guys wants to buy this, make me an offer and I'll probably say yes, because with the walk snail stuff coming, I just don't know why. I don't know why I would use this. The quality is not really that much better than analog. It is a little bit better, but it's not enough better to justify the 4-gram weight. I would rather run the slightly heavier walk snail setup and get a huge leap in video quality than an extra 4 grams for just a tiny little. And I mean, the big, to be honest, the biggest problem with the HD0 setup is that the way that it breaks up is very ugly. So like using footage from it, every time it breaks up, it's just like, oh my God. Like as an FPV camera, as a pilot, it's fine. But to use it, to try to make like an edit with it, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just not, it doesn't really make sense for that use. And that's what I would be using it for, right? Like I'm not using it as an FPV cam. I would rather run analog and save the weight. So yeah, I guess that's kind of the long and short of it, is that the HD0 setup is really not worth the extra weight for me, in my opinion. It's not that much better of a... I mean, I'm just not in a situation where I need the extra quality as an FPV cam. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? Hopefully that makes sense. Double A says, plug it in. Plug what in? CMAC says, are you doing IGOW? I'm not, CMAC. I tried IGOW not last year, but the year before, and I made it like 2 weeks. I don't like editing, and I just can't work it into my schedule. It's not a lot of time, but it's enough time that I just won't enter into it often enough, and I'll just get kicked out pretty quick. So, but you guys certainly should. You guys should do IGOW. It's an amazing competition, and yeah, it'll make you a much better pilot too, which is one of the coolest things. Somebody just recently posted up a little edit of them doing power loops week 1 of IGOW against them doing power loops like week 20 of IGOW, and it was amazing to see the progression. So if you're looking for something that's going to force you to fly and force you to get better, IGOW is a great excuse to do that. And, you know, it's a cool little competition. I'm also, you know, pretty against the whole like competition side of things. I got the whole competitiveness out of my out of me in like my 20s and 30s, and now I love cinematic FPV and freestyle FPV because I just don't care how good I am or how good anybody else is, and that's a big part of it for me. So yeah, the whole competitive side of it, I just don't like it. I literally just do not like it. So, but yeah, it's a really cool competition, and you're going to be hanging out with really cool people and so yeah, you guys should definitely do it. Don't let my weirdness turn you off to it, because it's run by amazing people and it's a really cool competition. So let me just move this over here. And all right, cool. So let's dive in to the Gold Pin PH2.0. The first thing that we need to do, though, is put this Crossfire rig up in the air on the old school rolled pin clear plastic PH2.0. So I've got 4 relatively fresh, as in like I haven't run them into the ground, NBD Drone Nitro Nectar Gold 300 mAh batteries, fresh off the charger. So this guy with this rolled pin connector is going to get the biggest possible advantage because these batteries are fresh off the charger. I'm going to take 2 of these batteries, I'm going to put them over here, and I'm going to run those on the red plastic solid pin gold connectors. I'm going to run these 2 batteries right now. And what I want you guys to, like, the most scientific thing is going to be the run time. But we're also going to talk about, like, the power, and I should have, so like my sensation of how much power it has, and also we're gonna have the amp meter in the corner. So the first thing I'm gonna do is plug these batteries in, hold this thing down on the desk, and go full stank-a-lot-of-puss, and we're gonna see how high the amp rating goes with these fresh batteries, and then we'll do the same thing on the rolled pin Goldie boys. I've also got 2 of the Nitro Nectar Gold 250s. I'm going to save these for the gold connector because, I don't know, why not? So yeah, first thing we're going to do is throw this guy up in the air. I am going to get my goggles up and running here. I'm going to try something a little bit new. Previously, I was leaving my patch on, but Nick Burns put out a video showing his antenna setup for getting the best possible quality around his house. And he was running Omnis in an L like this. So I'm going to start doing the same thing for Tiny Whoop things, running these Omnis in an L configuration. I was mainly... that's not like news. And I was kind of leaving my patch on out of laziness. Like, a patch antenna in the house does absolutely nothing. But I was just kind of being lazy about it. But, I mean, with how often that we're flying Tiny Whoops here. Although, actually, now that I say all of this, it doesn't make sense because I'm not plugging you guys into these. You guys are plugged into a something separate. So, but this will help if I'm using the Immersion RC power play, but I'm not. So, but I don't know, maybe I'll be able to tell a difference. You never know. All right, so let's get going. Oh, hold on. So I need to turn off HD0. I was doing some testing here, and I need to get Express LRS off of this rig and put the Crossfire module on it. All right, Crossfire going in, diamond antenna going on. And all right, cool. So yeah, this is also going to give you an idea of what to expect from the Crossfire version of the NBD Drone Acro-B BLV4. I'm pretty impressed by it. They put their new 0802 27,000 kV motors, and they rip, man. I'm pretty impressed by those motors. Okay, so we do have the amp rating there. So first things first, let's hold this thing down and we'll go full throttle and we'll see what that amp number gets up to with pretty much like the worst of the connectors that we're going to be playing around with here today. So holding it down, battery is absolutely fresh, armed. I saw 20.2 there, I think. All right, so that is with the brand new Gemfan 1208. I think they are tri-blades. Everything else is stone stock though. So let's fly this around a little bit. We'll see what the runtime ends up being. You know, keep in mind that we just did a big old full throttle blast. Oh, I put the props on wrong. Well, the runtime for this battery is now kind of out the window. Really? I left this thing props in? That was stupid. Well, I'm going to change this to props out because that's what the other rig is, And I have a sneaking suspicion that there's an efficiency difference between props in and props out. I am going to be testing that in the future, but yeah, let's just swap this thing. It's actually going to take less time to set this thing up for props out than to pull all 4 of the propellers off and put them back on the opposing motors. So in case you ever wanted to go props out, this is how you do it. You fire up Betaflight, you go into the motors tab, you click this little switch here, and then you'll see the picture updates itself. You click save and reboot. You connect to the rig again. You go back to the motors tab, and you're gonna have to plug in a battery for this because the motors need to spin up. All right, plug your little battery in. You click this motor direction button. You understand the risks. You click on the wizard. You click start and spin motors. And then you're just gonna put your finger on like the inside of the motor belt to see what direction it's spinning. Motor 1 is correct. Motor 2 is incorrect, so I'm gonna click the 2. That's gonna reverse motor 2. Now I'm gonna look at motor 3. It is incorrect. I'm gonna click motor 3, and now I'm gonna touch motor 4. It is also incorrect. And now, actually they were all incorrect. Motor 1 was wrong as well. So now you're gonna click stop motors, close, and what I like to do at this point is click this little guy and pull this master slider up a little bit and just check them one more time. Motor 1 is correct, motor 2 is correct, motor 3 is incorrect, I got that one wrong. Motor 4 is correct though. So we're gonna go back into motor direction, we gotta do it again, because I messed up. Motor 1. And it resets this every time. Motor 1 is incorrect. Motor 2 is incorrect. Motor 3 is incorrect. Why didn't it reverse motor 3 that time? That was weird. And motor 4 is incorrect. Motor 3 is still incorrect. What the hell's happening? It's not reversing the direction of motor 3. What the hell? What is happening here? One is now right, 2 is right, 3 is wrong. When I click 3, it stops it, but then it just spins it the same there it goes. Wow, that was really weird. That was really weird. Let's check it here. Oops. 1 is correct, 2 is correct, 3 is now correct, 4 is now correct. I don't know, maybe I've lost my mind, but that was very weird. Very, very weird. And now we're good to go. We can disconnect and unplug. And let me take a voltage. Well, let's do this. I'm gonna put these 2 batteries back on the charger, and I'm gonna grab the other 2 batteries that are fresh off the charger. Because yeah, I just pulled that battery all the way down to 4.23. So yeah, fresh batteries now going on. We are now props out, and so let me. I'm gonna redo that full power blast test because the motors were spinning the wrong way a minute ago, and when you spin the props the wrong way, they perform really weird. So let's do that full throttle test again real quick. Put it down here. Everybody keep an eye on the amp number. I saw 21.8 for a split second there. So 21.8. Let me write that down somewhere. I'll put it here. 21.8 folded pin. All right. Let's see what kind of runtime we get with this thing. And I'm going to talk to you guys about sort of just the flight dynamics and what it feels like and how little power it has, and stuff like that. So I am used to, look at them skinny legs. I am used to very lightweight, very overpowered, super high kV, tiny whoops. I'm gonna crash, I'm gonna just tell you right now, I'm gonna crash a lot with this rig because I'm not used to this low power kind of heavy setup, so just be prepared for that. I'm used to rigs with 30,000 plus kV, really lightweight 702 motors that weigh, oh boy, that weigh less than 20 grams. These Acrobees are like 23 plus grams. They've got big chunky 802s. We're also gonna, as we always do, durability test the shit out of everything. So yeah, it's a really difficult adjustment for me. What? That was odd. But so there we go. We're already flashing. Okay, so 1 minute and 28 seconds. Minimum battery was 3.21. I'm going to give this a second for the battery to kind of rebound. So the battery is coming back up to 3.9. So that's something that you're going to notice with these PH2.0 is you get like you get a low battery warning, but then the battery will bounce back to like a much higher voltage, which in this case is 3.9. So I'm going to fly this down even farther because, yeah, I mean, it's kind of silly to, oh, come on, really? Please no. Yeah, it's kind of silly to leave a battery at 3.9. One of the great things about BT2.0 has always been, has always been that, oh man, you guys are gonna get terrible buzz. Forgot about that. Hold on, let me turn the RF power down on the Crossfire. We'll turn it all the way down to 25 milliwatts. That should make the situation a lot better. Where the hell did I just lose that rig? Here it is. I forget what I was saying, but yeah, I'm gonna fly this thing down really, really, really low because kind of need to put the battery into a place where it's like closer to storage voltage. So that was. Now we're up to 1 minute and 55 seconds. Minimum battery 316. Push right stick forward to bring up the regular OSD, and there it is. It's bouncing back to 3.81. And you can see it kind of bouncing back and forth, 380, 381. So yeah, that is like a proper discharge cycle. And I mean, like at this point, like when the battery is up in the air, it's sagging a lot. So yeah, with BT2.0, you can run the one of the reasons you get more runtime is that you can run the battery down lower and you don't get as much sag. So now this is a fresh battery that we're not going to do that full throttle blast on. We're just going to fly the entire thing and see what kind of runtime we get. So let's actually go upstairs this time because, oh my god, it is dark. Okay, I can't see a single thing in there. Hold on, let me turn the light on. Somebody turn the stairs light off on me. Alright. Much better. So, here we go. Let's put it upstairs with the high ceilings, and then you're really going to be able to see the... you're going to really be able to... Oh, farts. Oh, come on now. Really? Is this real life? There we go. You're really going to be able to see the limitations of rolled pin PH2.0. So basically what I need to do my regular complement of moves up here is just hang on the throttle. Like the amount of full throttle that I give it is... oh, fuck. I was trying to hit the timer reset switch. Where the hell am I? Oh, I'm upstairs. So, oh boy. Oh, that's not good. I don't know where that is. I'm going to have to go up and get it because it's not even moving at all. God! was face down in the dirt of the one plant, and I try not to turtle mode it in there because it flings dirt all over the floor that I then have to clean up. All right, so we're back up. Oddly enough, like I can do. Oh, and the fan is going slowly. Let's try to get the blade landing finally. So this rig has the little foam pads on the bottom of the motors. The fan is not on slow mode though. Oh, that was almost it. That was almost it. This is gonna add some cruising to the. Oh, we were there, but it threw us off. I want to use a good amount of full throttle though, because that's where we're really gonna see the difference between these connections. Oh God, no! Oh boy. All right, so what do we got here? Some wall riding. And you can kind of see at the bottom of these, when I come down bottom and stab the throttle, there's a big wobble. I can't get that wobble out. I can't make the PID tune aggressive enough with the amount of noise that this board and gyro has to get that all the way out. It's also a problem of power, like the rig is just running out of power to fight that prop wash off. All right, so let's see. 219, lots of full throttle. Minimum battery was 3.10. Let's see where this thing bounces back to. So it's not going to bounce back as high. So 2 minutes, 19 seconds, and it's bouncing up to like 3.71, and it's just sitting there. Yeah, 371, 370. All right. So if somebody can write those two run times and ending battery voltages down, I would absolutely love that. I'm keeping track of that mega amp number, but that's really it. So that's two batteries with PH2.0 rolled pin, clear plastic OG. I'm pretty sure that Newbie Drone is going to move to this solid pin gold plated connector on all their rigs now. So we'll just kind of call this like the OG connector. Two batteries back to back. Now we're going to pull this thing apart. We're going to solder these this new connector on, and we'll see what happens. Double A says, Duke hates quads. He does indeed. Double A says, I see you got a dog. Yeah, that's Maggie's dog, Duke. He absolutely hates quads. Like when I plug goggles in and they beep, if I plug goggles in or if I power up the transmitter and it beeps, if I do anything at all that involves a beep, he starts shaking and shit. And it's so sad. I've tried really hard to like make him okay with them and let him sniff them, but he's just not into it, man. He's been scarred forever. I tried to really early on. I did. I skidded it across the floor and in between his front and rear legs, and apparently that was not the thing to do. Michael D says, the buzz made me think Hypnotoad. Must buy all CiottiFPV stickers. What the hell is Hypnotoad? You guys remember Battletoads? Oh my god, I love that. That was one of my favorite games of all time. Kevin Sumner says, gotta love that yeah, sorry about the crossfire hum, friends. Alright, cool, I'm caught up on chat. Alright. I'm dehydrated as hell. Hold on. Also hungry as hell. I know what I'll eat. A Reese's Pieces peanut butter cup. Because god damn it, I'm an adult and I can do whatever I want. Hypnotoad is from Futurama, Kevin Sumner says. I'm not a Futurama fan. I want to be, man, because like I know the show is funny. But I just don't find it funny. I have that problem with a lot of animated shows. I just can't, like, I don't know. And it sucks because I know that they're really funny, but oh. All right, here we go. Hold on. Oh my God. Is there anything better than Reese's peanut butter cups? I say no. Stevie says, just curious, ever consider putting air mode on a Switch? I had air mode on a Switch for years. And then I just never used it. Like, I'm such a fan of, like, off-throttle throw movements that, like, yeah, I just never used air mode on a Switch. And eventually I just kind of stopped doing it. Because, like, the problem with it was I would forget about it, and then I would have the quad in that switch position, and it would be flying weird, and I'd be like, what the hell's going on with this thing? And, like, that happened so much more often than actually using it that eventually I just said to hell with it and took it off completely. Religious says, try Futurama after a drink or two. It might help you ease you into it. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to bitch and moan. I have actually pretty much, like a long time ago, I kind of gave up drinking because my stomach just does not agree with it. And lately, I don't know, it's just getting worse and worse. And I am like really, at this point, just so fed up that I'm just going to completely get, like, I would, up until this point, it would be like maybe once a week. I would like have a drink, and then the next day my stomach would just be a nightmare. And I'm just so fed up with it. Like I had 2 drinks at the bar Saturday night after the cycling race. And my stomach has been a mess ever since. And like it just last night at like 3 a.m. it finally stopped being a dick. And yeah, it's just not worth it. And like 2 drinks like that isn't even enough to like feel anything. So it's just pointless. It's just this like social like, oh, peer pressure, like I don't want to be left out. I don't want to not look cool. But yeah, I'm just so fed up with it that I think I'm just going to swear it off altogether. Maybe I'll start telling people that I used to be an alcoholic. It's a good idea, right? Nah, it's not a funny joke. It's not a joke at all, actually. But yeah, it's super annoying. Super, super, super annoying because, like, there's all kinds of really tasty drinks. But, yeah, it's just one of those things, man. Don't get old, kids. And, you know, I mean, it's not good for you. It's just poison. So, not the end of the world to stop drinking poison, you know? Empty calories, poison, all the things. Not that I really have to worry about calories. I'm just being a lunatic. Just stand by. Just let me do this. Let me just be crazy for a minute. These wire runs were not spun tightly enough for my insanity. So, you know, stop everything and take care of it. That's my motto. All right, one more. Stevie says, yes, totally makes sense. Michael D says, I became a fan of Futurama. ... Hold on, I gotta rewind this one all the way. It's a hot mess. Michael D became a fan of Futurama and watched all of the episodes so much that I could close my eyes and visualize what was happening to fall asleep. I watched it in my mind. Yeah, I'm on that. Like, that is me with Top Gear and Frasier, and I think that's about it. Yeah, I can, and I mean, I'm talking like all 20 something seasons of Top Gear. Like I've been through all 20. I want to say it's 24 seasons of Top Gear, at least 10 times. Like it's there's I have problems. It's really ridiculous. What's that sound upstairs? What's happening? Is that you, Duke? It's a very strange noise coming from upstairs, and I thought, I'm pretty sure that Maggie and Azalea went out to the store. Okay, so that's Duke banging his bowl around like an idiot. I don't know. I don't know what his deal is. Instead of eating his food, he pushes it all around, and he like knocks the bowl all around, and then he eats it off the floor like a moron. Although, actually, no, he doesn't eat it off the floor. He just knocks it all onto the floor, and then he refuses to eat it off the floor. And then we have to give him more food. But what I actually do is just take the floor food and put it back in the bowl, because unacceptable, you know? All right. So, come on, get in there. Stop it! Are you too good for your home? Answer me! All right, got it. Okay, so here's how you desolder a battery lead and solder a new one on. Soldering iron is up to temperature, which is 700 degrees Fahrenheit. That is a little high for little small wires, but it's a little low for big, thick wires. So what's nice is it's kind of right in the middle, so I can just leave it at 700, and it kind of works for everything. This is a little bit of flux here, just to help with the heat transfer. What the hell's going on? Oh, there it is. That was too much. Get on there. Okay, that's fine. And here we go. Ram Douglas says, rescue dog or just wacky? Just wacky. Freelo just says, totally understand stomach issues. My favorite energy drink started doing that. And I stopped drinking alcohol about 5 years ago. Kevin Sumner says, Fraser introduced me to sherry. That's pretty cool. I don't think I've ever actually tried sherry. I might. No, I won't. But Erickson says, I snapped the crimp connector off a tiny whoop motor twisting them like that. Yeah, you got to be careful. You do have to be careful. But, you know, form over function, my friends. All right, so you put a little bit of flux on it, and then I'm going to do this without unplugging anything because the motor wires do a pretty good job kind of holding the AIO up in the air like this, and then you can just kind of push it a little bit and brace it up against the frame. And yeah, we should be okay. This is the ultra lazy way of doing it. So, soldering iron in your dominant hand, pair of thin tipped tweezers in your non-dominant hand. And to remove, you're just going to get a good grip on the wire that you're going to remove. We're going to do the positive lead first because it's going to take less heat. And this way we're going to put heat into the board, which is going to help us with the ground. So positive first, hold it with the tweezers. Apply the soldering iron to the flux. It's going to transfer heat. Keep the tip of the soldering iron there, and you're going to use your left hand with the tweezers to do all of the wire manipulation. Don't try to use the soldering iron to push the wire off. The tip of the soldering iron and the soldering iron itself is just there to transfer heat. So now we've got a little bit of heat into the board. We're going to come over to the ground. Same deal. Leave the soldering iron tip there. You want to put it in between the wire and the pad, and then use your left hand to remove the wire. And you're just going to pull it out and straight down. That has left a nice blob of solder on those pads. And so now we are going to take the gold-plated red plastic brand new Newbie Drone lead and install it. They've got a little bit more exposed wire here than is needed, and that kind of drives me crazy, so I'm just going to come in here with a pair of flush cutters and snip a bunch of that off. You really only need an amount of exposed wire that is the same thickness as the PCB. So I'm going to do the same here on the positive lead. And I actually cut that one a little bit long. Let's take a little tiny bit more off. All right, that's looking good. So yeah, I have a little bit too much here, but that's fine. It's better to have too much than too little. And you can see this this ground lead. I like that they did this. The ground lead is a little bit shorter than the positive. That's because the ground lead is going to solder up to the rear, and the positive lead is going to solder up to the front. That's really nice that they do that. I'm going to assume that they did that on purpose. Well, I'll tell you. Did they do it on both of them? They did. They did it on both of these. So yeah, they did that on purpose. That's actually really nice. That's a nice reminder as to which one goes where, right? This is your reminder as to the black one going in the rear. But also, as you're going to see in a minute, it makes the wires lay a little bit more flat when you run them out the back of the rig. So now we're just going to put this lead here and just kind of balance it somewhere because we're going to grab it with the tweezers again. And we'll do, let's do the ground first this time. And so just get the red one out of the way. And, all right, here we go. Hold it up to where the pad is. And the pad on these Acroby boards is like a little pocket. So you're going to put it in the middle of the pocket, and then you're going to use the soldering iron to apply heat. And at the same time, you're going to kind of use it to push it into that little pocket there. Just be patient. And I put the flux on the pad, and now you can see the flux starting to burn off there. Make sure that the solder goes liquid. And now hold really still. Don't blow on it, just hold it really still and let it cool down. And I did a terrible job. It's not lined up. My eyes are really starting to shit the bed, so I need to wear these stupid nerd goggle things at this point to get this job done properly with these tiny whoops. I'll tell you what though, being able to see what you're doing is well worth wearing nerd goggles when nobody else can see you. So get you some nerd goggles, friends. Yeah, I missed the little pocket completely, so I'm going to rework this. I'm going to just completely remove it. I'm applying heat to the end of the wire, and now I'm going to put it into the little pocket, and here we go. Again, the tip of the soldering iron is just there to provide heat. Your tweezers are there to hold it in place. I'm going to put a little bit more flux on here because it's having a hard time transferring the heat. And flux is the magical mystery juice to help with that problem. We did just barely get it tacked down, but you're going to see now there's going to be an explosion of smoke. That's going to be the flux burning off, and it's going to transfer the heat like crazy. And that's going to allow us to get it in the exact right spot here. So just be patient. The ground pad is always going to be more difficult. All right, so I'm having a little bit of a hard time. I'm actually going to remove it all the way, and we're going to put some fresh solder on here. So on this pad, we're just going to add a little bit of fresh solder here. Tip of the soldering iron on the pad, and then we're going to push our solder in, and then we're going to do the same thing on the positive pad over here. All right, so now we're nice and shiny again. One of the dead giveaways when the heat's not transferring is if it's dull, that means that you've burned all of the flux off, and the best way to fix that is just to, so remember that your solder has a flux core, so you can just add a little bit of solder, and that's going to add some flux, and it's going to make it shiny again. You always want to be soldering onto joints that are shiny. If it's all cloudy and shit, it's just going to cause problems, and you're not going to get as good of a connection. It's going to be weaker, and you're going to run the risk of cold solder joints. So now we're going to try this again. I should put a little bit more flux on there, but I've got a shiny wire going onto a shiny blob on the pad, so we should be okay. Here we go. Transferring heat with the tip of the soldering iron, and now this is working much, much, much better. Okay, there we go. That's looking nice. And so now we're going to take the positive lead here, and we're going to do the exact same thing. But since it's a little bit longer, it's going to kind of fight us, so just force it downwards, put a little bend in it, and here we go. And I always try to get the silicone right up against the PCB. That area is where it's going to bend the most. And if the silicone is there, then the wire will bend in the silicone, and that tends to be a lot stronger than leaving a bunch of exposed wire. I find that when you leave, like a millimeter or two of exposed wire, it'll break right there. Whereas if I put the silicone right up against the PCB, it tends to not break there nearly as often. It'll find somewhere else to break. Just blowing on the PCB in case there were any little solder balls that kind of snuck in there. This lens is filthy. Hold on. Shirt of the day! There you guys go. Everything you need to remember to be a half-decent human being here on Earth. In one shirt. All right, so now we just got to screw this guy back together, and we'll be good to go. Veritas User says, boil hamburger and rice. Your dog will love it. Jesus. Veritas User says, also says, we think your dog doesn't like what he's being fed. What brand food is it? We've tried a bunch of different brands of food, and this is the one that he likes best. Yeah, Maggie has been trying to figure out Duke's weird food behavior for a while. Our best guess is that at some point there was some kind of a critter in his food that scared him. He's kind of a scaredy boy. He's a little scaredy cat doggy. And yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing. Like he's like rooting around. Like he like pushes the food. He like, and then he stares at it, and then he stares at it, and he stares, and he does that like a bunch. And in the process of doing that, there's food going everywhere and whatnot. But yeah, it literally just looks like there was, I don't know, like a snake or something in his food at some point, and he went to eat it, and it, I don't know, did something. So that's our current best guess as to why the hell he's so weird. It's very strange. It's kind of funny to watch, and I mean, you know, it's like, it's whatever. It's not that big a deal. What has helped? I mean, one of the other problems is that Maggie used to just keep his bowl filled at all times. So there was always like 3 or 4 inches of food in his bowl. And so when he would push that around, it would easily overflow and dump all over the floor and shit. I've instituted a policy of like, let him eat all of his food and then give him more. I mean, what I really prefer is that at 2 o'clock he gets the exact right amount of food that over the next 24 hours he eats all of. But yeah, so that's kind of the flow that we're working with now, and it's the situation is a lot better since there's not just gobs and gobs and gobs of food in there for him to push all over the damn place. He's also old, man. He's an old man. So, yeah, he's allowed to be a little crotchety, I guess. All right, let's get this front screw down here. And did somebody in chat write down the run times and end battery voltages, I hope, from the clear rolled pin PH2.0? If not, can somebody go back and take a look? I know the first battery we ran down to 3.8. The second battery we ran down to 3.7. I want to say the first battery was like 1 minute and 55. The second battery was closer to like 2:30. It would be awesome if somebody could kind of confirm that. All right, so putting back together the Crossfire Acro Bee BLV4 here. Just trying to get these wires wrangled in a way that they're not pushing really hard against the AIO. All right, there's the crossfire antenna lifted up a little bit. Here comes the VTX antenna. Just like pre-bending them upwards. All right, much better. Much, much, much better. I'm going to do that again once I have these screws in, but let's put these screws on. Doesn't look like anybody has said yes, I have. So if somebody can go back, that would be amazing. It's just look for when we were flying and then that little end battery bit. I would super, super, super appreciate that. I won't do anything while you're gone. How about that? I'll just sit here like an idiot and struggle with these stupid screws. I won't talk about anything valuable. I'll just fight with these little devils. All right, there we go. Okay, Uber canopy is getting screwed down here. I'm also going to screw this down a little bit harder. A lot of times when these acro bees come, the Goober canopy is not screwed all the way down, and that allows the canopy to kind of bounce around a little bit, which is probably not great for the gyro and for the pid tunes. So yeah, I always make it a point to really crank these guys down. Not great for durability, but better for flight performance. So, and I mean, you're still using a soft touch, but what you want to do after you screw it down is just take the canopy and just like try to push it around, and you'll see if you don't have it screwed down enough, you'll be able to see the Goober canopy moving on the holes. But in this case, we're good to go. So that's all set. Let me one more time come in here and like kind of pre-tension these wires up. Actually, what I'm going to do, turn off the soldering iron. What I'm going to do is come in here with these tweezers, grab the wires, and put like a little S into them with these guys, and that'll really make sure that they're sitting up off of the AIO. That's important, guys. You don't want anything pushing into your AIO or your flight controller that has your gyro. That's a big deal. You want to have your gyro, or the board that your gyro lives on, floating as much as possible. If there's something pushing up against it, it's going to influence the vibrations, and it's going to give like basically bad readings. It's not usually the end of the world, but it can be. Like it can be the reason that your rig is not flying properly. So that's one of the things. If you've got a rig that's kind of unruly, that's one of the things to look for. Is there anything forced up against the flight controller? So just clean that up a little bit here, and we'll be good to go in 1 second. All right, much, much, much better. There it is. Okay, cool. All right, so we got the little Crossfire Mini Mortal T antenna in here. We've got the Goober canopy. This is looking fine. And so, like I was saying about the black lead being a little bit shorter than the red lead, in this case, the black lead is a little bit too short. But yeah, once these things bend over, when the black lead is a little bit shorter, it's going to sit a little bit flatter, and then when it turns here to plug in, yeah, it's just a little bit cleaner that way. So, I've got two fresh Newbie Drone Nitro Nectar Gold 300 mAh batteries right off the charger. We're going to do the full throttle test, and then we're going to fly it around, and we will compare the end battery voltages and the run times. Let's do it, my friends. So we're going to run this with the slot down, which is like that. And Maybe not. Maybe we'll run it slut up. We're going to run it slut up. Slut it up, my friends. You do you. All right. It's important with... never mind. You'll figure it out yourself. Slot. Now we're going to run slot up. I was right the first time. Just make sure the battery leads lay flat against the... don't just get frustrated and ram the battery in. If the battery is not fitting, figure out why. Don't just keep pushing on it because you can break stuff. I know that seems obvious, but when you're annoyed, if you're anything like me, you just tend to keep forcing things. That's what she said. Here we go. Full throttle test. Daniel, 1964, thank you for that. All right, full throttle test. Let's see what kind of amps it pulls. Ready? Apparently it's not ready. There it is. 22.8. Definitely 22 something. Yeah, up in the 22s. So that's more. On the folded pin, the max we saw was 21.8. So I just did that full throttle blast twice. I probably shouldn't have done that, but the numbers were moving so fast. So we're already seeing an improvement with the solid pin. Oh, and I could feel the improvement for sure. Wow. Yeah, okay. Unquestionably more power available here. And then at first battery, we stayed downstairs. Yeah, I mean, you guys can probably see that I'm able to do more stuff here. Like, I'm used to being able to do these big full throttle. Yeah, so with the folded pin, it was really hard to do these floor to ceiling, these big floor to ceiling throws. Oh, stop it. But now I'm like actually hitting them with some amount of accuracy, and I'm doing them off throttle. I'm not having to like fly it up and then just like fly it basically backwards through. So yeah, this is absolutely noticeable. Believe it or not, we should get more runtime. Yeah, this is very noticeable. I'm kind of shocked. I thought we'd be able to see it in the runtime, but I wouldn't be able to notice it per se. But at full throttle, I can definitely tell that we've got some more stank on this guy. Yo, Jesse called me yesterday, and he's sending me some really cool motors for testing that you guys are going to dig. Oh boy, that was a big hit. So we are at 1 minute and 45 with those 2 full throttle blasts, and it just started to flash. I'm going to fly it a little bit more. And we'll see what... I want to try to get the battery to bounce back to 3.8. So let's come home now. 2 minutes and 2, 2 minutes 3, 2 minutes 4, 2 minutes 5. All right. Total arm time, 2:05. Minimum battery, 3:13. Right stick forward. Let's see what the battery bounces back to. 3.75, 3.76, 3.77. Let's see if it gets all the way up to 3.8. Nah, I think it's going to level off here at 3.77. So 2:05, and it's down to 3.77. That's a definite improvement. And I did those 2 big full throttle blasts at the beginning of the battery. So we can already see a difference. Now we're going to go to the absolutely fresh battery, and I'm going to run it down even farther to test against that second battery that I flew, which was 2 minutes 19 seconds, and it was the ending voltage was 3.71. So this is going to be the real test because we don't have that awkward full throttle blast at the beginning. So here we go. This battery is fresh off the charger as well. Let me do this. I'm gonna on the other battery, I like crashed it and it sat here for a minute when I went and got it. So we're gonna like simulate that. All right. Okay. Perfect. We even got a crash in there. All right, now we're gonna come upstairs. Oh, yeah. This is more power. This is absolutely more power. See, there was no wobble at the bottom of that. Let's do that one more time. Yeah, there was a little wobble there. All right, so what else did we do? Let's see if we can get this fan landing. We did fan blade landing. We did a bunch of that on the previous battery. We spent a bunch of time doing that, I should say. Let's get it. Here we go. Oh, so close. Come on. Ah! Ooh! Not a super scientific test, admittedly, but a test nonetheless. Ah! I tried to force it and just dump it down on one of the blades. It's not going to work doing that. I got to really match up with them. And all right. That's about the amount of time that I spent doing it. So now we're going to continue railing around the room. Yeah, man. There's a noticeable difference in hang time, which is really how I can tell how much power it's... Ooh, that was a dumb crash. Oh, and I did not need to disarm there. So we are already at 1:50. Let's come back downstairs because I did fly that second battery downstairs a little bit. But yeah, I mean, this is like unquestionably delivering more power. You know, the runtime has a lot to do with how you fly it, how often you're on full throttle. So yeah, I'm actually going to trust the feeling of this a little bit more in this case. It's really hard to do the Matty flips with a rig that's a little bit underpowered. Shitters. Let's bring it home. It's flashing quite a bit. Let's bring it home. It's at 2:30. And, okay, so minimum battery is 2.95. That's a little bit lower than before. 230. What was the other one was 219. All right, so right stick forward. Let's see what it bounces back to. Oh, yeah, I ran this battery really low. I ran this battery down really low. But, like I said, I can absolutely feel a difference here, which is a combination of solid pin versus rolled pin and the fact that it's gold plated. My guess is the main thing is that it's solid pin versus rolled pin, but the gold plated is a nice little extra. So I've got two of these 250 milliamp nitronectar golds. Let's burn these guys real quick. So this is kind of right now, this is going to be the best possible performance that you can get from one of these rigs in sort of a plug and play sense, because I'm pretty sure that these bind and flies are going to start to come with these connectors. So this is about as good as it's going to get from a completely like solderless newbie drone Acro B BLV4 setup, because these batteries are a little bit lighter. These batteries are going to sag more for sure. So like the second half of the battery is not going to be as good, but the first half of the battery is going to benefit from the lighter weight of these 250s. Jeez. Ooh. So see, like, you can still do plenty of sick shit even with like a full-blown bind and fly. You don't have to do the ultimate build, but to be honest, the ultimate build is so easy that, like, why wouldn't you? Oh, come on, get you some. Ah, nope, I'll be, oh, don't be like this. Not like this. Not like this. Not like this. I'm not going to spend the whole battery trying to get it out. Pictures and general nonsense of the battery time. Thank you, dude. I wish I hadn't run that second battery down so low. That was kind of stupid. That kind of messes up the result. But like I said, you know, it's the ending voltage and runtime is going to have a lot to do with how often you were full throttle. And on this second battery, I was really enjoying the extra power, so I was almost certainly full throttle more of the time. No, no, no. No, no, no. Don't do it. Oh, balls. We're playing drums, friends. Oh, that was a big one. Get out of there. This is set up pretty stock, too. I don't really have much change. I changed a couple things in Betaflight, but this is mainly a stock-ish Acro BBLV4. When you get any warnings with these 250 mAh batteries, bring that shit home. They fall off a cliff at the end of their battery life. You can see it's bouncing up to 3.78. It might come up to 3.79 once I have it unplugged, so that's perfect. So there's one of the little 250s. Let's fire up the other 250, and then we'll put the BT2.0 rig in the air, which is completely unfair, but you know, it's pretty easy to solder up a BT2.0 connector, in all honesty. The new GNB connectors are really exciting because everybody's going to be able to use them, and it looks like they'll even plug into the BT2.0 batteries. So that's super, super, super rad. Oh, great. Oh, come on. Get out of there. Good. I still have like 7,000 bags of props over here because I'm lazy. Wow, I knocked down a Minecraft torch. It's an accomplishment. Those are kind of heavy. Oh boy, get you. Oh God. Get in there. Woo! There's a different like flight style to Oh my God, are you kidding me? I wish that I could take credit for that being skill, but that was just a really lucky mega power loop and then through the cube at the bottom. Jesus. I started that move off center too, and I put like a little bit of a correction in there. Oh, okay, all right. So that, yeah, I mean, that's really impressive. Like, for a bind and fly, this is legit, man. Like, yes, the Mobula 6 ELRS with BT2.0 with high KV 702s is gonna rip harder, but there is nothing wrong with this, man. Like, this thing shreds. Yo, those are two of the biggest moves that there are in this basement, and I just did it twice in a row. Nothing wrong with this, man. Really impressive. Best flying rig that Newbie Drone has ever made, for sure. These 27,000 kV motors are just great. I'm so glad that they went up to the higher kV motors. That's so nice. And they just motor limit them down, and then you can just move your motor limit up right here in the OSD if you want more power from them. 10 points to Newbie Drone for this, man. That's a big deal. That's a really big deal that they've got a rig that you can go full tilt, off throttle, upside down, chaos mode in. Ramdago says maybe a hex light tube thing to fly through. You know, I've thought about it. It's not hard to build those, but like you don't really do moves through it, right? Like you just you know, go barreling through it, and like it's cool looking and all, but I don't know. It's I would rather have like more gates hanging up that I can do like crazy Matty flips or inverted power loop moves through or whatnot. All right, So here is a fully, not fully, you could, what I was about to say is fully upgraded BLV4. You could push this even farther, which I did on the part 3 live stream from a month or two ago. You could continue to upgrade this by swapping the motors out for 30,000 kV 0702s. But at the moment, this is on the Newbie Drone Flow 0802 27,000 kV motors, which are damn good, especially with these Gemfan 1208 propellers. So this is like 90% upgraded. I shaved a little bit of weight by removing the T antenna and adding another one of these really lightweight, just whip style 2.4 gigahertz antennas. And then I moved it over to a Mobula 6 canopy and camera, which I had to hand solder the Newbie Drone specific connector to. Let me bust out the scale for a second and weigh these two guys. So the Stone Stock Crossfire BLV4 is 24.1 grams. And then this fully upgraded ELRS BLV4 is 22.7 grams. So big difference in weight. I know 1.5 grams doesn't seem like a lot, but when the entire rig only weighs 20 grams and change, it is a lot. Think of percentages. This would be like a 50 or 60 gram change on a 5-inch freestyle rig. And we're BT 2.0, so we're going to get more power being delivered to this rig. So let's fire this thing up and we will... it'll be very easy to see the difference between these two. Because of the weight difference, but also because BT 2.0 is just kind of magic. All right, here we go. I did charge up BT 2.0 batteries that are not super fresh. These have been cycled quite a few times. So I'm trying to give as much of an advantage to PH2.0 as possible. I need to take the Crossfire module off and put the ELRS module on. So we're also going to gain a little bit of latency, or well, we're going to lose a little bit of latency, I should say. We're going to gain a latency advantage here, which is kind of cool. I think I need to turn this thing off and on. All right, and turning the transmitter back on here. Nick Buka says, as far as bind and fly, how durable is the Acroby frame? We need to buy a different frame right away. Nope, and the cockroach frames that they come with have a lifetime warranty. So, yeah, if you break the frame, you can just swap it out, which is pretty cool. Come on. Come on. What's happening here? Oh, the rig's been plugged in so long that the ELRS went into Wi-Fi mode, I'll bet. All right. Cycle the power real quick. That being said, the Meteor 65 frame is lighter and more crash resistant. So you kind of might as well switch it over to the Meteor 65 frame. But what I will say is the cockroach frame will allow you to push the PIDs higher. And that will help you out. What the hell's going on here? Why is this not binding up? Bueller? Let's press RS, 150. Oh, there it goes. That was weird. Nope, now it's not again. What the hell's happening? What? What are you doing, dude? Let's give it a second. All right, now we're plugging it back in. Whoa, what was that?
Telemetry recovered.
Some just smashed into the...
Low battery.
Jesus! He just knocked into the wall. Wow, this OSD is going completely nutso. Ignore the... Oh, wait, no, there we go. There we go. OSD's back. Okay. To be honest, not nearly as much of a difference as I thought. I have a feeling that this battery might be worked. So, okay. All right, here we go. Not nearly as much of a difference as I thought. Some of these BT 2.0 batteries are in pretty bad shape, though. So I will reserve judgment until the next battery goes on this thing. But to be honest, right now, I don't feel like I have any extra power. Any extra power. Which is a really good sign for those solid pin PH2.0s. I mean, I've done solid pin PH2.0 versus BT 2.0 before, though. Oh god. And there was absolutely a difference. So I'm pretty sure that this is just a battery that's kind of worked. The NBD Nitro Nectar Gold batteries, I used them way back in the day, but I was not flying tiny whoops anywhere near as much as I do now. And I have really pounded the hell out of these BT 2.0 batteries. You can kind of see it by the runtime of 1:31, and the battery is only bouncing back to 3.5. All right, so yeah, this is almost certainly a battery that's just kind of worked. Let's put another one through it and see. Veritas User says, is the Mobula stick still the best go-to drone for indoor? Girlfriend says she'll buy me one if I don't go back with my wife. Yes, it certainly is. And that's mighty kind of her. Jesus. This BT 2.0 connector is welded to the battery. There we go. All right, yeah, so I think this battery is just cranked. Let's throw another one in here. What's this battery sitting out here? Storage voltage. Okay, cool. So let's try another here and see what's what. You never know. Maybe that gold plating is magical. Let's take a look. Crash flip switch. What do you mean? Let's see here. Yeah, okay. We got more now. Yeah, so BT 2.0 is outperforming the gold pin PH 2.0 for sure. But I'll tell you what, not by as much as I thought. Oh, God. This is a good example of the, oh, God, how quickly these tiny whoop batteries kind of degrade over time. Oh, balls. The reason why the OSD is so much more of a mess on this one is that this is my custom OSD layout. If you leave the newbie drone OSD layout on it where all the elements are at the bottom and there's not a lot of elements, it works a lot better. I'm also having a really hard time because there's a difference in up tilt on the Goober canopy versus this Mobula 6 canopy. I'm not going to be able to get out of this. Yeah, no. Oh boy, I just gotten used to that, the up tilt to that Goober canopy. Let me look at the two. Ah, farts. Let me look at the two of them next to each other. I'm actually curious as to what the difference is. Man, this Runcam Nano 3 looks way worse than the NBD BI camera going through the BI AIO. Very, very milky. All right, here we go. Oh boy, that was right by my head.
9, 8, 7.
There we go. Now we're getting used to it.
5.
I thought I could back it through this cube.
4.
Amber, shut up!
2.
Turn Amber down a little bit.
1.
There you go.
Timer.
Oh! Okay. Now we're getting into it. Stop that. Yeah, so BT 2.0 is it's also sagging less towards the end here, which is really nice, and we should see a difference in runtime here. This battery is a little bit more fresh. I would still say though that this battery has been charged and discharged way more than those Nitro Nectar Gold batteries I was flying on that other one. But again, I wanted to give the newbie drone setup the benefit of the doubt. As much benefit as possible, I should say. Getting up in them newbie drone gates. So, minimum battery 301, battery's bouncing back to 353, and we are at 2 minutes and 16 seconds, and I'm just like hammering the hell out of this. So, yeah, BT 2.0 is still king, but man, I'm actually pretty impressed by the gold-plated PH2.0. That is not bad at all, man. Yeah, that is a perfectly valid. Like, usually I'm just like, oh, you got it. Like, change to BT 2.0. The first thing you do. I think that gap has kind of closed, and if you're really anti-soldering, it's not quite as much of a deal anymore, and that's kind of amazing. So, yeah, man. Let me turn Amber down a little bit more. Ooh, shit. Stop it. No, don't get stuck in shoes, please. Ride the handrail up. Oh, okay. Yeah. So right there was a huge difference in horsepower. Is there a Duke here? There's Duke. Oh, he hates it. Oh, he hates it so much. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I'm not going to torture the poor old man. I can hear him running around up there. Poor little old man. Dog doesn't know what the hell the tiny whoop is. Yo, this thing ain't no joke with BT 2.0 and the lighter camera. It gets down. Gets down good. Oh shit! There we go. We're getting into some stuff now. Get it on. Get in there. Oh! Just getting meaty with it. Meaty clackers all day. What the hell was that about? Let's try it again. Oh, I was not quite high enough. Oh, balls. Let's try it again. Ah, no, I'm not getting enough rearward momentum. Ooh, that little snap there. Snap a lot of flips. Let's see if we can get some Matty flips going. No, not quite. This battery's coming down there. It's taking a big old shit. So there's 2 minutes and 14, bouncing up to 3.65, 366. Yeah, man. Damn, okay. Newbie drone, good job. Gold-plated, solid pin. Hanging on in there. Hanging on there. Dub Squared says, but I think the ultimate question is how long before the gold PH2.0 oxidizes and starts sagging. That's the biggest problem with the PH2.0, in my opinion. June Logo says, can we get a close-up of the new plug? I will try my best. I will try my best. Let's go to the bench zoom. And yeah, that's very true. Although, I mean, I guess you could say the same thing about BT 2.0, right? That's like gold-plated too. I mean, the pins are much bigger. But, hold on. I'll put this down. And let's see here. It needs to be held steady. Yeah, that's as good as I can do for you. There you go. You can really see that it's a solid pin. rather than rolled pin. So yeah, and I mean it kind of looks red because it is red, but it is gold in there. I promise you. Yeah, pretty impressive. Pretty impressive, man. The pins are much smaller, so there's a much smaller contact patch. So that's the main difference. Whereas like BT 2.0, in comparison, like look at the size of those pins in there. You know what I mean? Much bigger. So there's a much bigger contact patch. So yeah, that's where the BT 2.0 is really superior. But I'm actually, like I said, pretty shocked that this new Newbie Drone PH2.0 is much better than I thought. I was just like, yeah, this is going to be a massacre. But not nearly as much of a difference as I'd thought. But when these batteries are fresh, no, don't go upstairs. When these batteries are fresh, there's yeah, BT 2.0 for the win still for sure. But man, Newbie Drone coming through with some extra performance, man. 27,000 kV motors, solid pin connector. They're taking non-newbies much more seriously, which is a really good thing because God, they have so much cool shit on their website. And like a lot of people have a whole bunch of PH2.0 batteries floating around. This is certainly like the connector to get for them, right? So if you've got a bunch of PH2.0 connectors just sitting around, snag a couple of these, throw them on there, and you're going to get the best performance possible from them. I would definitely not recommend anyone buy PH2.0 batteries, right? Like if you're going to buy a battery, it should be a BT 2.0 battery. Unless like you have a really good reason, but most of us have got in a lot of cases a bunch of these Nitro Nectar Golds just floating around. So yeah, snag the new connector, build a practice rig or something like that, or build somebody else a rig, or just build yourself a basher rig that you can pound the shit out of, or like, you know, like a one-way whoop. Oh man, yeah, buy a bunch of these and then build a bunch of one-way whoops. That's a way to get rid of your PH2.0 batteries. Whoops, that was ugly. Get up in here. I haven't done this in a minute. I can't say that I felt any difference in latency between Crossfire and Express LRS because I'm not full of shit. I don't know. Maybe some people can feel these minuscule differences in latency. I'm pretty sure it's placebo, though. Stop it. Let me up. Ah! Ooh. Where's this battery at? 354, 359. All right, cool. We'll leave it here. So there you guys go. Damn. Newbie Drone, great job. Great job on the new connector. That's pretty impressive that it can even come anywhere close to BT 2.0. That is a tough ask for the difference in contact patch between those two batteries. So yeah, man, if you absolutely cannot possibly bring yourself to do any soldering, just wait for Newbie Drone to start installing these red plastic, gold-plated solid pin PH2.0s on their binding flies. And yeah, with the 27,000 kV 802s cranked all the way up, it's the best flying rig that they've ever produced by like quite some margin. And you're going to be able to do some of the shit that you see me doing all over the place. Off throttle throws, like more three-dimensional kind of moves, momentum moves. Poiter says, do you think there's a big difference between old Mobula 6 on tri-blades and newer Mobula 6 on bi-blades? Which do you prefer? they have made the Mobula 6 with a bunch of different motors. So, I can't specifically answer that question. What I can say, though, is that the Mobula 6 uses and has always used standard motor plugs. So if you have a Mobula 6, spend the $30-something or $40. Marcel off Axis with a 244 super chat. Thank you, brother. 330 in Canadian dollar dues. Thank you, brother. Yeah, the best thing you can do, well, so BT 2.0 for sure. If you've got a Mobula 6, go to BT 2.0, definitely. Other than that, though, change the motors. Put the Tiny Whoop or We Bleed FPV 0702s on it and get whatever KV you want. We Bleed FPV has the 28,500s back in stock. That's an awesome KV. TinyWhoop.com, you can go even higher. You can go up to 30,000 or even 32,000. Sorry, guys. Even 32,000 KV motors. And then you run those with the GemFan bi-blades, and that's the hot setup. Calvin Lee with $100 super chat. Holy crap. Calvin Lee, for those that don't know, is one of the main guys over at Newbie Drone. So yeah, super, super cool. Dan, bro, thank you so much. Like, yet again, Newbie Drone is super, super, super supportive of this channel. So show them some love. Stop thinking about the big three resellers here in the US. It's the big four. Newbie Drone is absolutely one of the big resellers here in the US. They have a huge inventory. They have great prices. And yeah, they're really, you could argue that they are, of those big four companies, the one that supports pilots the most, right? Because they've put so much time and effort into new person friendly rigs like these, right? RDQ, Get FPV, and Pyrodrone, they just sell other people's stuff. Newbie Drone is making stuff, and they are making stuff specifically for the hardest part of the audience, which is new folks, right? Like, when you're new, that's the most difficult time. And it's also really difficult to get a new pilot in the air. I just recently have begun working with somebody on Fiverr who's very new, and I usually work with folks that are already like up in the air and are looking to kind of refine things. And like, we tried to do a couple simple things like get him bound and get his goggles onto the same channels as the quad. And it was like, I'd forgotten how difficult it is when you're new to do that. And so for Newbie Drone to like put so much effort into that and to make products that make that process easier, like, that's a really big deal. That's one of the other things that's great about Emacs, right? Is they've taken that on as well. And so we want to support those guys because we were all new at one point as well. And like, quite honestly, it's very frustrating to try to get somebody that's brand new up in the air. And so for these two companies to be like taking that on and making products that make that process a little bit easier, that's a big deal, because the quicker we can get somebody up in the air, the more hooked they're going to get and the more research they're going to do. And that's going to get them over that initial hump. And then they can start refining FPV with the rest of us, you know, lunatics that have been in it for years and years and years. So, yeah, man. Also, Newbie Drone has a couple of really good motors that nobody else has. The Axis 1404s are a brilliant 3-inch freestyle motor. And then they've got the Axis 2004s in the really high KV. Is it 3940? I always forget. It's such a weird number that I have a hard time remembering what it is. It is 3710 kV. Yeah, the Axis 2004 3710 kV motors are some of my favorite Cinewhoop motors. It's a high enough KV where you can get really good power out of them. You can run 5 blades, you can run 3 blades, which is really nice for a little bit more efficiency. And it's got enough volume to pick up a fat-ass Hero 10 or 11, which is really, really nice. So, yeah, and you can literally only get those motors from in that KV from Newbie Drone. But their part selection is great, man. They have a whole bunch of stuff that nobody else has. So yeah, next time you're gonna do an order for a bunch of stuff, see if you can find everything that you need on their site and look around a little bit, because you're gonna find some stuff that nobody else has, and that's kind of awesome. It's one of the things I love about Pyrodrone actually, is Pyrodrone has a lot of stuff that nobody else does. And over the past couple of years, Newbie Drone has sort of joined those ranks of being one of these shops that doesn't just have like the generic block of stuff that everybody has, which is rad. So yeah, man, check them out for sure. What are we at? 8 o'clock? What time did we start? 6 o'clock. That's the live stream, friends. Good God. That just blew by. No, let's do a couple of minutes extra. I've got these 2 batteries that I've been meaning to discharge for the last 2 weeks actually, and I haven't. We're gonna put the bando bashing. Nah, you know what? This is too much. I'm gonna put the 603 rig up in the air with these 2 batteries, because 603 is just such an interesting motor size. This guy here, this is my Mobula 7 Jungle Gym Basher. These are the IGOW limited edition 802 27,000 kV motors, and they're just way too much for in the house. This one is just like a parts build. This has the Tiny Whoop 603, which is a little bit more stator volume than 702, but a little bit less than 802. 26,000 kV, so a little bit less power. Unfortunately, these motors are only a 1mm motor shaft, so this does not make a great jungle gym basher. But for inside the house, the collisions will be a little bit less. And yeah, hopefully I don't bend the shafts on these motors. But for those of you that have stuck around for this long, there's a high KV 603 coming from tinywhoops.com. I'm going to be testing it soon, and I'm very excited. Very, very, very excited. Because a 3mm tall stator is better than a 2mm tall stator. The height of the stator does more work than the width of the stator. So a 603 should, even though it's less stator volume than an 802, it has the potential to make as much power as an 802. But we haven't been able to test that because we haven't had enough KV on the 603s. So I'm really, really, really excited for these high KV 603s to come through. Okay, we've fallen out of the air already, but luckily I did not have the thing on. And these goggles are... What the fuck just happened? Okay. Okay, there's the table. Found it. So this is a WeBleedFPV BT2.0 450 mAh battery. I'm going to struggle big time with this inside because it's just too heavy. These 75mm rigs are just absurdly heavy for indoor hard freestyle use. Really? You're gonna do me like this? God damn you. It's the corners of these cubes. They're like angled, and if you hit it just wrong, the rig like wedges itself under there. All right. Oh God! Why? Yeah, 75mm rigs inside the house is just silly. Like, you're just making your life much more difficult. I know that Infinity Loops flies his, but he is one of the best freestyle pilots on Earth right now. If you think you're gonna get that good, you got a lot of batteries to fly before you can come anywhere near him. So yeah, don't do that to yourself. Fly a rig that's gonna make your life easier, and yeah, you'll be much happier. Oh boy. These rigs are just so heavy. So heavy and slidey. Yes, you get more power, but the 65 mil rigs with the high KV 702s make plenty of power. There we go. All right, let's get into this a little bit here. Oh boy, oh boy. God, it's just like holding on for dear life. Like the flight experience flying a 75 millimeter rig with some power inside is just trying to not crash. Like the entire time, all you're doing is trying to not crash. Whereas the 65 mil rigs, you can actually like fly, and you can actually like confidently kind of move around the space and do some tricks. Whereas, yeah, this is just like don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die, don't die. Try not to die, try not to die. Ah, fuck. Yes. Got out of it. Stop it! And yeah, just trying to like not die, it gets really old really fast. And like, so the big, Jesus Christ, the what's going on basically is that with all the extra weight, the 75 mil rigs just carry a ton more momentum. And so that's, you have to do a lot of extra work to shed that momentum before it goes banging into stuff, right? So you have to do more work. And like, why? Like, why would you do that? Why would you make it so much harder on yourself? And a lot of that extra work is just adding like more, adding more roll like that. You know, you can't fly flat. You can't fly around flat and have it like look cinematic or just look good for anyone other than like pilots to watch, right? Like we've been abused into getting used to watching footage where it's just this the whole goddamn time. But you show that kind of thing to anybody that's not a pilot, and they're gonna be like, yo, this is awful, turn this shit off. And like, I don't like that. Like I like for normal people to be able to like watch me fly and not want to kill themselves, you know what I mean? So yeah, fly 65s inside the house, yo. It's much better. You have to do so much less work, and there's just no reason for all this extra power of a 75 in the house. All it's going to do is break more of your belongings, and that's just stupid. So don't do it. Don't do it. It just makes your life harder. For no reason. Alright, there we go. Unless you're, you know, like top 10, top 20 pilots in the world, then by all means. But there are only 10 or 20 of them, and that doesn't describe most of us. Certainly doesn't describe me. Like, I'd be lucky if I was top 1,000 in the world. As you can see. By this absolute and utter shit show going on. But yeah, I mean, if you're a much better pilot than me, maybe you can make this work. But I still don't think you should, because it's like a 65 is just gonna be better. Veritas says, what's the worst place you've ever crashed a drone? Into the ocean in Charleston. Where it still is. Unfortunately. There's a Hero 8 and a pretty fresh cinematic glide build sitting at the bottom of the low country in Charleston. It's the only rig I've ever lost, though, which is kind of great. Oh, fuck. Here we go again. I just want these batteries to be... like, this just sucks. Like seriously. The in-the-house 75mm experience compared to 65, it's just not fun. This is just not fun. So if you want fun... keep your 75s outside. Oh, god damn it. Come on, just be discharged. Just be discharged so I don't have to fly this thing anymore. Oh, god, I can't even get it through a goddamn gate because of how... Come on, man, what the fuck? Like, look at it. There's no control whatsoever to 75. You have to like put 90 degrees of roll on every single time, and you have to make these constant corrections because it's so fat and just sliding all over the goddamn place. Like, this is awful. Oh my god, what a ouch! God damn it, and it fucking bit me. If that bleeds, I'm gonna smash this thing with a hammer. What a nightmare. 75 millimeter. For outside, flying around jungle gyms and stuff. Oh, fucking what the hell, man? Really? Smash this all up? God damn it. I'm gonna break my fucking Legos and shit? What is this nonsense? God. Oh, Christ. It's like, see, like it just doesn't stop. It just keeps sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding and sliding. It's like trying to fly a fucking 7-inch rig in like a small parking lot. It just doesn't make sense. It's the complete wrong tool for the job. And I'm so tired of people saying that I'm an idiot and that it's better. It's just not. You're just stubborn. And you haven't flown a high KV 65mm rig. That's all it is. .5, great, done. God, thank Christ. Whew, boy, what a nightmare. Stupid 75mm rigs, and this is a pretty lightweight 75mm rig, so don't try to pull that with me. I'll even give you the weight. But Erickson says, I bet you get a fuller kick drum sound with the 75. That's true. That's very true. Let me get you some weights on these. So the one that I was just flying is 23.1 grams. And then the Jungle Gym Basher is 23.9, 24 right on the nose. So yeah, these are fairly lightweight 75mm rigs, but yeah, they're just not the right tool for the job. The job being flying inside the house in this case. But outside the house, they're great. I will absolutely admit that, because it's the truth. They fight the wind a lot better. You can still shoot small gaps with them, and you can put a much bigger battery on them. So yeah, do it. Hit some jungle gyms with them. You'll love it. You'll absolutely love it. All right, friends. Thanks for hanging out. My name's Aaron Ciotti. Huge shout out again to Kelvin from Newbie Drone for the incredibly generous $100 super chat and for sending over all kinds of good stuff. They've sent over this ELRS BLV4. They've sent over this Crossfire BLV4. These awesome new gold-plated solid pin PH2.0 connectors. I can't believe I'm calling a PH2.0 connector awesome, but I'm thoroughly impressed with because we've all got PH2.0 batteries floating around, and I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of other stuff. But yeah, next time you need to do an order, hit newbiedrone.com. They've got all kinds of good stuff. Why not take it outside? Because it's dark out here in Atlanta. Michael D says, Kelvin said Newbie Drone is having a clearance on Dogcom batteries. Have a great evening. Very cool. Grant R says Ciotti meltdown. Ooh, Grant, you have not seen a meltdown. If you think that was a meltdown, stick around, brother. You'll see a meltdown before too long. CiottiFPV.com is my website where you can support me. I am completely crowdfunded. Each and every one of you are the reason that I can continue to do this full time. And yeah, if you want to see it continue, I need you to do something. Click thumbs up, subscribe, leave a comment. If you have a couple of extra bucks a month, Patreon is the thing that really allows me to do this live stream 4 to 5 days a week. So yeah, head on over to CiottiFPV.com, hit the Patreon link. Come on board with the Gangly Gang. You're going to love it. You're going to get a ton of benefits, Discord access, Facebook groups, a whole bunch of tech articles on the Patreon channel itself, and my undying love, which, let's be honest, is the most valuable of all. I love you guys. Be good. Here comes some more flying. This is me just getting some random B-roll in Miami Beach from the National Cycling League event that I flew live for this last weekend. Let me get you some epidemic sounds here, though, so it's not just the screaming of the Cinesplorer. Here's some dreamy and restless beats, apparently. Love you guys. I'll see you on Friday. Later.